Let's go!
I came here to build something really, really special.
Arkansas fans, did you really hire Alex Golesh? Am I pronouncing that correctly? I'll give you my thoughts at the end of this, but let's do a little film study of the biggest moment of Golesh's career. And just a little background, as many of you know, I do as many Tennessee film studies as I do Arkansas film studies, and Golesh is of Tennessee descent. He is a hypo disciple, baby, and this is what he likes to do. You get numbers on the outside, you have the widest splits you possibly can, and because you have such a light box, you get the QB run game going. So South Florida in all of college football is sixth in yards per rush, and since Alex Golesh has been the OC at Tennessee, so that was starting all the way back in 2021, he has been a top 40 yard per rush offense in every season outside of his first at USF. So this is a guy who loves to run the daggum football. So one thing about one of these hypo type of offenses is that they're relatively simple, okay? Quarterbacks really don't have to do a whole lot except just run the play. So the problem with that is when you play the better teams with the better athletes, a defense like Florida, that's a 5-star making the tackle there, you could run into issues. But the good thing about that is you also avoid big negative plays. So you could see that Florida really wanted to get exotic here. They crowded the line of scrimmage, and what does Golesh do? Well, he sets up screens to both sides, right? It's a really good call in this situation, and boom, you get the football to 11, and you have blockers, okay? Now, what's interesting about this screen is, and this is a big part of what hypo coordinators like to do, is they love to play with their offensive linemen, okay? So you could see that if you were thinking that this was going to be a screen, you would think the screen was releasing to the left, right? The offensive linemen are releasing to the left. That's what 34 is looking at. That's what 15 is looking at. And guess what? It actually releases here to the right, okay? So it's a very interesting way of running these types of plays. You get a lot of space, and you can make a case that a better receiver right here would have picked up the first down, even though 11 is a good player. So one thing about Golesh, he is not afraid to be aggressive on fourth down. You know, his first year at UCF, they were top 5 in fourth down attempts. When he was at Tennessee, they were very aggressive on fourth down. The fourth down attempts have been low, but in must-have-it games, they've actually gone for it a good bit, and they're able to get a penalty on Florida by going fast. And that's the other thing about a Golesh offense is they like tempo. And if you go back to what was really working under the Kendall Browse Arkansas tenure, it was going faster. So now, once again, it's first down, and you're running another screen. Okay, you fake as if you could be running the screen into the flat, but it's actually a middle screen. Okay, and guess what? You get exactly what you want, a lot of pressure up the middle, and boom. Now you got big chunky guys blocking. 72 already has a mouthful of turkey and gravy by the time this video has been posted. And look at that, man. That's good stuff. We go. It's 3rd and 9, and one thing that they love is a QB who can run. And Arkansas, of course, more years than not, they have had an above average to very elite rushing QB, as they currently do with Talon Green. So QB mobility is big. Does Brown come over from USF? I actually do like number 17 for the Bulls quite a bit. One thing you notice when you really break down this game versus Florida is it's pretty much all quick stuff, right? There are concerns with that. Like we said, it is very simple. And it's difficult to beat the elite teams running this kind of offense. But the good thing is, when you're playing this quick, it takes pretty much your offensive line out of the game. It takes Florida's strongest strength, which is their pass rush, out of the picture. And guess what? You're playing quick, okay? You're not going to have huge negative plays running curl flat combos. And guess what? You get a nice gain of 6 here. 3rd and 1, and when you think Tennessee offense, this is what you're thinking, right? Wide splits from the receivers, okay? And then you get a box count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against their 5, plus a running back, plus the QB in the run game. So you have them theoretically outnumbered in terms of players who could potentially get the football, but you don't have them outnumbered in terms of blockers, right? So what do you need? You need a QB who can run. All right, so you have the zone read that holds this defensive end to the backside where he's not crashing down to make a play in the run game. And then you have 5-on-5, okay? So now this running back is patient. It's 3rd and 1. A lot of running backs would just pound this bad boy on up in here. Instead, the running back bounces, and because the receiver splits are so wide, it opens up huge pockets of space for the running back to run through. A nice little juke right there by 15. 15, who do you think you are? Leaving 14 in the dust like that. Oh, man. Look at him go. All right, so right here, Florida elects to play man-to-man coverage. And here's the good thing about it. Drag here. All right, it's just an end breaker, slant, whatever. And 2 is running to the inside. All you got to do is break contain and just run, baby. Run, Brown, run. Look at that. So the QB, it's not an absolute necessity that he is an elite runner, but it is nice to have, okay? Now, the only thing about this run is this was a little casual, okay? Let's make sure we get the first down. Even though theoretically 2nd and 1 is the best down in football, still, there you go. Alrighty, so Arkansas's offensive line play has actually been really good this year, especially when it comes to run blocking. Pass blocking in particular, right tackle has been an issue. So the reason I bring that up is that Arkansas's run game itself has been very good. This right here is an example of what can go wrong when you're trusting your offensive line to make very difficult blocks. So right here, this is a sweep zone blocking play to the left. And this isn't one of those quick hitter misdirection types of plays. You really need your offensive line to execute difficult blocks. So 93 swims the center, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but as you can see, that was a little too ragdolly. And the big thing here is Tyreek Sapp right here. This is an elite player. Okay, he's going up against a pretty underwhelmed offensive tackle, to say the least. So watch what happens. He just puts him to the ground. Okay, so this is where this system runs into issues, right? If your offensive line gets out athlete and you're trying to run these types of plays where your offensive line actually has to execute good blocks, you're going to run into massive problems, which is always a simple adage. Players, not plays. All right, here we go. 3rd and 8, and Golesh decides to go for the whole shebang here. Did not like this play call. I remember seeing it as it happened. You have got to give a short option here of some sort. So what Tennessee likes to do when they run, and they actually did this versus Florida this past weekend, if they run these switch verticals, what they do as a check down is have either one of the tight end or the running backs help to block and then leak, right? Because that gives Brown an answer short, because the protection does a good job of holding up at first, but now he's got no options to actually check it down anywhere. Okay, so now he's trying to figure out, hey, where am I going to rip it? I don't want to rip it into heavy coverage, and now he's just got to basically eat the sack. Okay, and this is, lucky enough Brown's a freak athlete, and that ball got as far as it did down the field, because that was very close to being a fumble. What does Golesh do the very next drive? Well, let's get back to running these plays where we are not asking our offensive line to complete a single block, right? Let's just run a fake zone to the left. If you want to give it, you can give it, but we're going to pull it to the right. Now, what's very interesting here, if this truly was a read play where Brown has the option to actually hand this football off, this probably would have been a good give, right, based on the numbers count. But even then, let's just get our playmakers out into space, and there you go. It's a very simple pitch and catch. Almost missed it, but you did get it there. That's a good play right there by a single digit to keep his footing. And now he is off to hopefully make it a big play after the catch. He spins, and there you go. 6 has had a monster year for them. Had a monster game last week. We get to the biggest play of Alex Golesh's career. It's right here, okay? You could see the camera wasn't even ready. They were going so fast, only 13 seconds are off the play clock. And the next thing you know, camera's trying to figure out what they're going to do. And the way this works is the production trucks, I don't think a lot of people understand how games are actually broadcast. So there's a truck, a big 18-wheeler that's outside of the stadium, and they're having to push all kinds of buttons. They're trying to get replays in, and you can see they make a mistake. The camera's not even on the ball, and Florida fans are wondering, hey, what the hell's going on here? South Florida fans are like, I hope this is a touchdown. And guess what? It's a jump ball to the opposite side. Boom. Florida's got people running into one another, and it's a touchdown. So here's the actual play, and you can see Florida had too many men on the field. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Referee was ready to go, okay? So unless USF made any substitutions, Florida probably shouldn't have substituted. So Florida's able to go fast, and now you're essentially getting a free play without the Gators not even being lined up properly. Kind of looked like 15 was trying to call a timeout potentially, but he was just trying to fix his helmet. But when you go fast, all right, Kendall Briles used to talk about this all the time, you are getting free plays. And that's what you want, right? If you're trying to pull the upset, get as many of these types of opportunities where the better athletes aren't ready to go. And even though this ball is thrown into heavy coverage, I don't even know if USF got the correct penalty for too many men on the field. So if that was picked off, they would have been screwed. What a throw. What a catch. Down by 1. You have a chance to go win the game. And we saved the best for last. What is the single most important thing to understand about this offense? Well, we talked about the run game. We talked about the overall good yard per play numbers and all of those different things. And, before I skedaddle here, his records aren't really that great. My guy Dave Bartu is not a huge fan of what he likes to consider something called coach effect. We'll talk about that in an upcoming live stream. And this is where it gets a little complicated. There's a thing called a choice route. All right, so what a choice route basically is the wide receiver is determining what type of route he's going to run based on what the defensive back is going to do. So based on what I am looking at here, it's near impossible to know what's a choice route and what isn't. This looks like it's a choice route, right? It looks like you're running a vertical. This DB is so far back. So if he is this far back, what's the point in just running a go? We cut this off, and we're looking back at the QB, okay? And this is really good stuff. That's a good throw right there by Brown, throwing it relatively quickly out of that break. And while he's getting hit, he is throwing this football out wide. Now, the problem with choice routes is that they can't take a while to develop, so you need to have decent pass protection for it to work. So what the Tennessees do is they throw a lot of different play action fakes, run fakes in there to where it can make it easier for your offensive line to protect. Now, 2nd and 7. What does USF go back to? That curl flat combo, and it's there, okay? Boom. Mahomes is one of the best at throwing this. Okay, I do a lot of cheese film studies as well. You also have an answer right here. But this should have been ripped, and Brown gets gunshot. And I get it, all right? But now your offensive line is beaten. This guy's going to play in the NFL for a very long time, and you got to eat this sack, okay? Can't have that, baby. You just can't have it. All right, I'm going to keep it a buck. Golesh did some really good things coaching. All right, you get the deep touchdown with Florida not set. But, man, there was another drive. So the drive you just watched was ended when he tried to kick a 58-yard field goal on 4th and 7. I understand getting frustrated that your QB just took that bad sack, but you probably should just go for it there. And then you get to here, and boy, you get lucky. You get so lucky. Okay? Quarterback throws this backwards. All right? You're trying to set up that little running back screen yet again. So the ball gets thrown backwards into heavy traffic, and Florida has this covered, and all of a sudden, number 15 comes out and is freaking prime LaDainian Tomlinson, splits these Florida defenders, and beats number 93. That is one of the plays of the college football season right there, because, man, I don't know if USF is winning this game unless you have this play by 15. Wow. So here we go. You get the huge play, and you got to run everyone up there, so it's relatively quick, and this is a good read, okay? He decides to pull it and throw the stop right here to the receiver, and, man, really good football. Pitch and catch. Now we just need 80 to get vertical and set up for this game-winning field goal. 2 hands on the football. Good stuff. And he's falling forward. Love to see it. All right, so now let the hot hand decide this game for you, and this is just really, really, really good stuff, okay? They're trying to run counter GY to the left, but this wraps around through this backside B gap, okay? So 15 sees that this is dirty, and he wraps it through right here, okay? I'm telling you, man, this dude looked like prime Alex Collins. You know, Collins is from Florida. That's why I said him. And then we get to the play that ends this game. Okay. It is truly, truly, truly spectacular watching Brown run this offense. He is one of the funner QBs in all of college football. And boom, get vertical, pick up the first down, and you kick the game-winning field goal. Okay, so, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, thank goodness you didn't hire Kane Womack. I do like Golesh a lot, even though the record doesn't say what you would like if you're an Arkansas fan. I know some of you feel it's a little Morrissey, if you will. I've gone back and forth. Did I like Golesh or Eric Morris more? I don't know. And I also don't think Womack would have been the absolute worst hire in the world. But, this guy can coach offense. It's going to be so big that Arkansas gets a good DC, though, right? And if you really break down the history of Arkansas football, which side of the football has been the problem? Okay, it's not been offense. I mean, Arkansas has plenty of great offensive players. You guys know the deal. And my guys at Arkansas Quaint have been bringing that up quite a bit. So, yeah, you let me know, Arkansas fans, how you feel about this hire. We'll talk to you soon. It is Power Hour SEC. Boom. Tonight we're doing chicken.